I have my head held high because I know deep in my heart that I have done nothing criminally wrong and will eventually be cleared. I am not without faults, but I am not a criminal.
Now at 7, embattled Windsor Mayor Dominic Foppoli insisting he is innocent against mounting allegations of sexual assault. Thank you so much for joining us here on Quan 4 News at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm Justine Waldman. Now, so far, a total of 6 women, including a Windsor councilwoman, claim that Foppoli assaulted them. Windsor town leaders are now admitting that they knew of these alleged incidents, at least one of them dating back as far as 2017. Quan 4's Teresa Stasio joins us now live from Windsor. She's been following the story and has the latest on this council meeting that happened tonight. They were hoping, the council members, that Dominic Foppoli would resign, and he definitely did not.
He definitely did not, Grant. This is a very complicated story, but it does boil down, as you were mentioning, that 6 women have come forward and said that the mayor of Windsor has sexually assaulted them. One person actually saying that he raped her and drugged her. So it dates back to 2004, and then there's that 2017. Now, we just heard from the town manager saying that they investigated back on that 2017 email, and that at the time, the woman didn't say that she was sexually assaulted. She just said that his behavior was troubling. And then we heard from the chief of police, and the chief of police said that troubling behavior is not a crime, and that the victim didn't want to come forward. So they investigated the 2017, and that there wasn't a crime involved, and that is why they appointed him mayor back in 2017 and then also in 2020. So as we unpack this whole story, we're finding out a lot more. But one of the things that is certainly concurrent in all of this is that the mayor is pushing back, saying that he has not committed a crime, that he has not done any of these allegations. And let's listen in to his statement that he made at the beginning of this special session that is underway right now.
First of all, I'd like to acknowledge that having spoken with a few of the individuals who initially renounced me following the allegations in the media, I understand why so many people are upset and supporting those accusing me. My first instinct would be to support women coming forward with wrongs done to them too. The reason I am not stepping down is that in this case, I know the truth of those experiences. I don't blame those who are angry and seek justice, as they were not there and do not know what I know. I also want to take this opportunity to say how incredibly sorry I am to my family and my close friends for them having to go through this. And thank you for standing with me. I've also had dozens and dozens of people reach out to me this past week offering their support. I've been telling them what I'm going to tell you. I have my head held high because I know deep in my heart that I have done nothing criminally wrong and will eventually be cleared. I am not without faults, but I'm not a criminal. And I, along with the rest of the council members on this call, have worked tremendously hard to build the town we live in today. To conclude, I ask the people of Windsor this. Let the Attorney General and the justice system decide if I did anything wrong when it comes to these allegations. What I ask you, our residents, to judge me on is the job I've done as your mayor for the past 3 years. Do you walk around our beautiful town and love where we live? Do you love the well-maintained, clean streets? Do you love the great parks and our amazing Parks and Rec programs? Do you love that you live in a town where we are fortunate enough to feel safe walking anywhere you want with your families? On pretty much every metric of quality of life, Windsor is ranked the highest in the region. That's not an accident. Let me continue to do my job. It's time to get back to work.
And you heard that from the mayor, saying that he is very proud of the work that he has done and he plans to stay in that position. And he is going to allow the Attorney General's office in California, as well as the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department, to do this investigation about these accusations. Now, earlier, Cron On and Cron 4 were able to talk to the vice mayor as well as a town council member. Let's listen to what they had to say, as these accusations have certainly taken this town by storm.
A lot of sorrow for a lot of parties, a lot of sorrow, and trying to figure, how we're going to go forward. And tonight's meeting will hopefully the town. Well, I know the town is going to make a presentation and give an idea of how we are going to go forward with this. Besides just the council, demanding Mayor Foppoli's resignation. There's some technicalities with that will come to light and have come to light.
Yes, I was in contact in 2017 with the first accuser, and she and I have a good relationship based on that. The other 5, I don't know who they are. I stand with every survivor. I can't imagine what shoes they're in. I want them to know that the town is doing everything we can, which is to make sure that our mayor resigns. Then it's up to the courts to take further action.
Now, since the women's stories have come to light, there has been this criminal investigation by the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department as well as the State Attorney General's office. Now, these women have evidence. They say that they have emails, they have text messages, they have corroborating witnesses about what happened to them. And all of this has certainly rocked the community and the surrounding area. 8 mayors issuing a statement calling for him to step down, and his brother removing him from the family vineyard, and several other organizations removing him as well from their boards. And so all of this having a rippling effect in this community where he worked at a winery, the family winery, and now that's in question. But again, this boils down to at the beginning of the meeting where council members have said that he should be removed. He cannot be removed. It is not in the charter for them to call for him to be removed. It has to go to a recall, and that recall would have to go toward the voters. And that's something that would have to go onto the election, and that would be something that either a special election would take place or that would be in December. So very complicated situation. Again, there were probably about 1,000 people that when I tried to go onto the Zoom to listen in, so it is gaining a lot of interest throughout this entire region, all this unfolding. Justine?
Yeah, I heard them say at the top of the Zoom meeting that it was full, that they had reached their capacity for how many people could actually be in it. They were trying to figure out a way to let more people in since this is a public meeting. So he's not going to step down. The council can't quite kick him out. So it goes to this recall election, and there's some support for that movement. But are there enough votes then to actually remove him from office? And December is a long time from now.
All very good questions, and we have no idea. So you would have to collect the signatures, just like, for example, what is going on with the governor, with that recall effort that's underway. There has to be a percentage of the population that they have to get the signatures in order to go onto the ballot. And that's a similar circumstance here, where they'd have to get a percentage of the people to go and get their signatures to go onto the ballot for a recall. In the meantime, you've got all of these dual investigations going on by the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department as well as the Attorney General's office. Now, a lot of questions about why the District Attorney's office is not involved, which would be the normal arm of who would be doing an investigation. And there was someone in the District Attorney's office, just to complicate matters on top of complicating matters, there's someone in the District Attorney's office that reportedly had a relationship with the mayor, and so that was a conflict of interest, and that is why the Attorney General's office came in and took over. So many moving parts, many unanswered questions right now, but certainly we will continue to follow this. Justine?
He still denies all the accusations. Teresa, I know you'll be still listening in on the meeting that's ongoing and have a report coming up tonight during Cron 4 News at 8.